Hello there everybody and welcome back to my F1 2021 My Team Career Mode Season 4 Round 3 Imola. The European season begins here. If you haven't seen the last installment, I urge you to go and check that one out before checking this one out. This is your last chance to do so before spoilers. Well, 2 races so far and 2 wins and great momentum set up at the beginning of the season, but let's try and carry that on now here at Imola. We've got damp conditions for this qualifying session, but at the moment I'm quite enjoying these damp conditions and we are trying to get through Q1. This has been quite a solid lap actually, and we're coming out of the last corner now. I'm thinking this should be enough to get me through, but the conditions are changing and it is set to stop raining, so whether it does so or not before the end of the session remains to be seen. And actually it did, and some went out on softs, but the rest of the pack didn't, and that is what saved me and got me through the first part of qualifying. Unfortunately for the guys at the back, taking on the soft tyres didn't work out for them. Maybe they didn't get their laps done in time, I don't know, but we're now into Q2. The track has dried, and you know what? I am finding the limits, and I am pushing the limits of this circuit. We've set the fastest time in Q2, and that's an incredible time for us, a 1:12.8. George Russell, though, was fastest, 2 tenths quicker. So let's see what we got. We're now on our final lap of Q3. We did a 1:12.4 in the beginning, which is really good. But let's see if we can go better then. First chicane. Bang! Apex. Slightly missed that one. But we've got a better run out of that left-hander. And as you can see, the delta has gone green. So we are up. Again, a nice entrance into that second chicane there. And we hit both apexes beautifully. Look at that. 4 tenths up as we go round the left-hander. And we are looking very, very handy here. We now come to the second chicane. We're up to 7 tenths up. We have really found some time here on this second lap. We're now up to 7 tenths up. This is one of those once-in-a-lifetime incredible laps that we have just pulled out of the bag, out of nowhere, into the final 2 corners. Look at that. Pushing to the limit and just above it. But we're going to get away with it. And the time is a 1:11.6 to grab pole position for the Emilia Romagna. I can't pronounce that, but the Imola Grand Prix. 6 whole tenths quicker than anybody else. That is a lap.
Welcome back to Imola, home circuit of the Scuderia Ferrari. We expect to see a lot of local supporters in red today. They've all turned out for what we have every expectation of being a sensational event here at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Unlike most Formula One circuits, Imola is driven anti-clockwise and offers our drivers today just over 3 miles of glistening wet asphalt to negotiate. It's made up of a roughly equal split of 9 right-hand turns and 10 left-hand. Watch the drivers on the way into turn 16. Managing their speed there will be crucial, with the rain only adding to the difficulty of that downhill braking section, which then of course leads into the track's longest straight, though no DRS there today of course. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. Let me ask you about Aston Martin. We've had a significant regulation change for this season, but from what I can gather at this early stage, it seems they've had some trouble adapting their car.
There are a few downcast looks within the team this weekend. I think they've been hit fairly hard by the new regs. But this is only the first step down a long road of development, and even if they don't maximise their points today, there are plenty more up for grabs this season.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Joker lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Russell, Leclerc, Carlos Sainz and Bottas, Gasly, Giovinazzi, Norris and Robert Schwartzman, Lundgaard, Tsunoda, Sebastian Vettel and Ocon, Joe, Stroll, Callum Ilott and Daniel Ricciardo. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Latifi, Markelov, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
It's a damp start then as we begin the 32 laps of this Grand Prix. And it is lights out and away we go on Imola, and it's not such a great start. We got a bit of wheel spin now. I've come across to cover Max Verstappen, but, well, we banged wheels with him and Max has eventually got through, but I'm going to park it in the middle of the track to hold the line. Oh, we forced Verstappen wide there. We have forced Verstappen wide in a move very much reminiscent of what he did to Lewis Hamilton IRL in the 2021 season, but we dove up the inside and took the place. Verstappen down to third, Russell taking advantage of that. George Russell moving into second place as we go very wide there. I've got to now try and cover George Russell off, and that is going to be easier said than done. Coming up to end the first lap, a little bit wide at the chicane there, and we haven't quite got the momentum out, and George Russell now having a look. He's got momentum, he's pulled alongside, I have to give him room, and George Russell, he's going to get that done before the corner. I'm having to back out because I don't want to go into him. And George Russell taking the lead of this race here in Imola. And you can see there on the replay, just pulled alongside, and if I didn't back out of that one, that could have been a collision, so I had to back out, and there is the number 63 Red Bull of George Russell taking the lead for the first time in this career mode. We have dropped to second, and Verstappen now wanting revenge for what happened earlier on the first lap of this race. We're now at the end of lap 2 into lap 3. Russell with the fastest lap, but I'm keeping him very close company. I don't want to let him get away, but I think George just about having the faster car at this stage of the race. So it's all about just trying to stay within that gap, trying to not lose too much time to him. The conditions are going to change. The rain is going to stop very soon. But for now, it's a case of trying to hold on until it does. Although we've set a purple final sector, so we are starting to make a bit of a point to George Russell here and just say, hey, look, we can do this. I can come back at you. And now we end the lap 6, and again, the gap is very static, but I've just set a fastest lap of the race just to let him know I'm there. So at this stage, it's very much punch and counter punch. George will set a lap, and then I will set a lap faster. And at the end of lap 10, it was very much status quo, 2 to 2.5 seconds separating the lead. George Russell now coming into the pits to change onto his set of the soft tyres. But I'm going to do something different here, which might be a mistake early on. I'm going on to mediums, but they're changing my front wing. Why are they changing my front wing? That has cost me. That has cost me quite a few seconds there. And that is not something I needed. I did not need a front wing change. The car felt fine. I was very much staying with Russell, but whatever. The team have decided a new wing was needed, so that's how it is. Right, on the medium tyres, and as you can see on a drying track, the medium tyres tend to struggle a lot. Sainz trying to send one up the inside there. That's not happening. That's not going down. The Tifosi not going to be very happy with me keeping Sainz back like that. But unfortunately, you are not coming past, sir. Bottas now trying to get involved behind me. And that is a yellow flag for an AlphaTauri. And I believe that is Yuki Tsunoda out of the race. So that's unfortunate for him. I think he was running quite strongly as well. Right, back with the race. Russell is now 9.3, 9.4, 9.5 seconds ahead. Daniel Ricciardo setting the fastest lap. But George Russell, I'm sure, will have to stop again. I don't intend to stop again. So that could work out for me later when George Russell has to pit. So all I have to do is try and stay within that 10 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds if I can. Bottas having a look there. Not happening there at all. We didn't end up with having enough momentum in the end. Look at Gasly up there in 4th. Again, Pierre Gasly just running very high up. Doing a great job here. Right, now we've got Bottas coming back at me. Is he going to have a look? Is he going to have a look? I think he is, but we're going to cover the inside line in anticipation. Bottas trying to go for the outside, but there's no way through there. And that is very much covered off. Bottas having another look there, but he just backed out. And status quo. But 2nd to 5th, separated by half a second. That is crazy. Right, here comes Pierre Gasly on Valtteri Bottas round the first corner. And Gasly tags Bottas and round it goes. The AlphaTauri going round. You just see it there. Gasly trying to go for the outside line on Bottas. Bottas covering him well, braking later, and Gasly just going into him twice, and round the AlphaTauri he goes. That's a very unfortunate mistake. George Russell into the pits then. And we are going to take the race lead. Max Verstappen sets the fastest lap on those old softs, but I'm sure he will be in soon to replace those softs. And how far is George Russell behind me is the question. That's what I need to know now. It is, well, he's behind Norris and Schwartzman, which is crucial for us. And as we go to lap 25, he's 10.4 seconds behind me and gaining about 1.2, 1.3 seconds a lap. So he might catch me by the last lap. So we got to try and keep our pace up as much as we can, because the Red Bull is coming straight after me. So it's all about pushing and finding as much speed as we can to maintain this win. George is throwing everything he can at me, and the safety car comes out, and that isn't going to help me at all, as we've got a McLaren go, and is that Gasly going into a slowing McLaren. There was an Alfa Romeo pulling over to let the McLaren through, and Gasly goes into him and loses his front wing. Oh, Gasly has had many misadventures today. Right, the safety car is in, and I'm trying to get the best launch on George Russell as I can. 5 laps to go. He is right there. The safety car has completely eradicated what advantage I had over him. So we have now got a Grand Slam finish here over the last 5 laps. And George Russell, he's on fresh, soft tyres. It's going to be very difficult to keep him back. And Russell having a look down the inside there. I'm covering the outside. I'm giving him space. But now George has got such traction out of the corner. He is just able to get through so easily. Verstappen having a look up the inside there. I cover that one, but don't give him very much room there. He's forced to back out. So the battle for second carries on. Verstappen, well, I haven't been very friendly to him in this race, have I? Now Bottas is having a look at Verstappen behind me. They're side by side behind me. Who is this one going to work out for? In my mind, these two can continue battling as much as they want, because then I get to just stretch out a little bit. Right, lap 30. George Russell was pulled out quite an advantage. Max Verstappen now going to the outside of the chicane, but that was never going to work. I was always going to brake later with the inside line. Now Max is trying to do to me what George did to me at the beginning of the race. I'm wising up to that one, and I'm not letting it happen. Max is covered, but he's going to be very, very close on the main straight with the DRS available to him. But I think we've made up just enough time to hold him back. What's going to happen here? Verstappen, he's got to run. He's got to run. I'm going to force him to the outside. No, I cover the outside. He does not manage to make it through there. So Verstappen, less than 2 tenths behind me and desperately trying to find a way through. Leclerc is having a battle with Italian Jesus, though. You see him here trying to get past the Alpine. The Alpine not being very kind to him, not letting him go. But Leclerc trying to force his way through. But Giovinazzi forcing his way back through. It's his home race and he doesn't want to mess with anyone. Right, we're on the last lap. This is me battling with Max Verstappen now. Verstappen has the outside line. I have the inside line though, and I brake a bit later and keep the position. Verstappen is having a look to try and get past me, but it's not going to happen there. Round the second chicane. Verstappen having to tuck in behind. He has a look to the outside as I take the inside. That's covered. I've got a bit deep on the exit though. And now we've got Verstappen trying to get up the inside line again. He's now switched to the outside as I cover. Max trying to go around the outside. He doesn't have enough momentum to complete that move though. I keep the position and Verstappen not letting me go for 1 second here. He's basically pushing me round the corner, trying to help me round. Verstappen switching sides, going to the outside of the chicane. I will cover that once again. And Max didn't get round the chicane very well at all. So I think at this point now I have got P2 covered. George Russell has disappeared off into the distance. It's going to be a first career mode win for George Russell, but we are going to hold on to second place, and Charles Leclerc has indeed got past Antonio Giovinazzi, so it's going to be 4 for him as well. And is that a Williams in the points? I believe it is. Callum Ilott making it into the top 10 for Williams. A great job by him. But it is George Russell who takes the win in the fastest lap, making it clear he intends to have a say in this championship. We take second place, though Verstappen gets third, and it is Leclerc in fourth. And as you can see, we are still heading the championships on 69 points. Nice. Then we've got George Russell in second place, Leclerc in third, Verstappen fourth. Then it's Ricciardo, Sainz, Tsunoda, Norris, Stroll and Bottas rounding out the top 10 in the championship. And Lundgaard on as many points as Bottas. Gasly down in 13th. So that was a bit of a disaster of a race for him after his many misadventures here, and we are leading the Constructors' Championship still quite comfortably, but Red Bull are now making their claim on this and announcing that they want to have a say. Well, that was the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. I am going to leave you with the podium sequence. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next time, it is going to be goodbye from me, TTFN, guys. Don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content from me. TTFN, guys. Ta-ta for now.
So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.